G'day. So today I have had a customer drop in these global knives, and for the most part they're okay. This one's got a little bit of a issue here, which I'll take over to the grinder. I'll show you in a minute. This one also suffering similar issues, right? So they'll all have to be flattened out on the grinder, so I'm going to get a square edge. I have to rebuild the bevels. This one has been through a pretty heavy life. These are 20 years old, so they've done pretty well so far, but again, that's going to need a fresh edge, I think. The bread knife, not too bad. I gave it a bit of a slice test, and it's ish. So you can see it's not too bad, but I can get that better using the SJ250. However, these two are beyond help. Look at that pitting. Hang on, I think it's worse on this side. All right, that pitting is from, you guessed it, dishwasher. Now, look, you can't blame people for putting things in dishwashers because it's handy and it's quick and there it is. But dishwashers are murder to knives, especially knives like this. This is a very brittle knife. They're made from extremely hard steel, and you don't get ductility with steel, with hard steel. So these are in the dishwasher banging and smashing against each other as they're being washed and thrown around with all the high-speed jets and the hot water and the cold water and everything, and it takes its toll, and you get these pits. Now these pits, I think this one's actually worse. I'll show you on this one, but it's the same on this one. So these pits, no matter how much I come down, I'm going to be coming across these pits, right? Which means I'm never going to be able to get a clean edge. I'm always going to have these little marks, pock marks everywhere. I mean, I can try, but it'd be like trying to draw a straight line through a shower of meteors. You just may not, you just won't get it. You might get some good bits, but I'll give them a bit of a sharpen. So what I ended up doing with this customer is I actually sold him a brand new set of globals. Very happy, he's gone off, and I included in the price. We did a deal, so I'm going to do my best on these, give them back to him, and of course he gets a brand new set. So this is going to be a longish sort of video, so if you're addicted to knife sharpening, you're going to enjoy this. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these over to the sander and give them a brand new flat edge. All right, so follow along. It's a bit chilly today, so I've got the fire going. Speaking of chilly, there he is. Say hello, Chilly. Hello, Chilly. Yay. Okay, so over here, being careful not to overheat them, obviously. And what I'm looking for, let's just wipe this edge off. What I'm looking for is a silver edge all the way across with no marks. So that one's not too bad. See a few of these marks here? That means I haven't gone deep enough. Alright, so a bit more. Dip. Still got more to go there. Because on this side I think we've got a lot of pock marks. Yep, although the rest of it you can see I've got a full shine. Or have I? Yeah, not too bad, and that tip is a little bit sharper as well, but I'll work it a little bit more. Not bad. Just wipe that off. So I've got solid metal all the way across. Now I'll examine the bevel to see if there's any pock marks that are close by. This one not too bad. I'm going to nip this edge off because that can be very sharp and will stab you. So a bit better, and I'll work that a little bit with a file later. But that's good enough to start sharpening. So let's get the other one. Now this one here, let's have a look. We've got a dicky edge there. You can see there's very little shine on the top. So we'll take that whole thing off. Just pull my sleeves up. Sparks are generally not good, but as long as they're not too many. Okay. Now where's my cloth? Not bad. You can see that looks nice. What's this back like? Not too bad. It's going to have a bit of a rock there, but that'll be alright. This edge has got a bit of a bull on it, so I might try and give that better edge, a better point. Like that back still needs a bit of work, that heel. And this is what I mean, as you go down deeper, you're going to come across more and more pots. And there's one being revealed there. Alright, so this is why never ever ever dishwasher. People, please. I got permission to be harsh on him, so he laughed. He said, yeah, no worries. So I'm going to try and keep eating away there until that's gone. But how deep is it? Quite deep. I've got to try and land in between those two. See how I go. Still a little bit there, and of course some of that might come off in the grind, but it may also not. Now I'm not going to go, let me get a pointer. Now I'm not going to go all the way down past here obviously, because that loses too much knife. Now these are fairly thin anyway, and they're very even as well. There might be a 1 or 2 degree bevel there, but nothing that needs thinning. As you can see, there's so it's really only that one there. That's causing me a drama. I'll try and go a bit deeper. Let's have a look, see how deep do I have to go. Yeah, you see, as I establish that bevel, that bottom pot is going to start showing up. What I might do is I might leave that, because the rest of it is pretty good. See, the light is shining not bad. And then as I come down further, I've got these two guys here to worry about. See them? Alright, so you'll never beat the pox. Alright, so I'm going to leave that one. And come over to this one. What's this one doing? Oh, we've got heel issues. Not too much pox on that side. Not too bad on this side. This one should smooth out pretty easily. It's full shine. Might touch that tip a bit more. You can see here on the welding, it's all gone. So that weakens the knife as well. So, you know, I mean, that could be a safety hazard. As you're pressing down on the knife, cutting something, if it snaps, then you've got issues. Not sure if it would or not, and what it takes to do that. But Trying to get some reflection going. Give it a bit more of a touch. Yep, that's good enough. Now as for these two, you can see that I'm going to have some dramas. There's pocks everywhere, mostly on this side. Alright, so as I grind down to those pocks, they reveal little craters. But I want to give it a go just for you guys as well, so we can see how far we can go with these. Yeah, this one's pretty destroyed. We're going to be coming across craters everywhere. But we'll see how much of a shine I can get. Now this one's got a bit of a heel here. Right, so I can't lay it flat because it's going to take this off too much, so I'm going to have to use the radius to try and smooth those out. Let's have a look. There's one pock coming out. Down the back doesn't seem too bad. But the rest of it actually, did we make it? I don't think we did. Let's have a look. I'm trying to get the light correct. There you go. You can see the pots. And you can see one poking through there. Another one here right at the top. But, you know, I might be able to get an edge on that, we'll see. Put that one down, and this one is the worst. Right, this is like a moonscape. You might see what happens. Another one there. And you can see here, we're not getting a clean edge. That there, that's not a bad, that's clean edge there. So we've got a pocks there, all the way along. We'll try and go deeper, see what happens. There. See, so as you go deeper and deeper, it just reveals more holes. All right, you see how that's going to happen, no matter how much I keep going. All right, there's one right there that's revealing itself. That's a shame. But on the other hand, they did get 20 good years out of them, so you know, that's not too bad. No, you see craters everywhere. That one's still at the top there. So that's as good as that one's going to get, I think. Okay. So let's get this one done. I've got to take my wheel off because my grinding wheel's getting a little bit thin. I might go to the tripod now because I don't need the point of view. Right, so stand by, I'll be back in a minute. And we're back. Oh, that's right, I was battling this thing. My machine is very old. But it's hanging in there. Oh dear. Now a global can take a cheeky 30, which I call like 26, 28, but I'll give this a full 30. It's had a hard life. All right, and because we're starting from a full square edge, I'm going to have to take it down to a full 80. Really rough this wheel up. Now some of you have noticed that my wheels are a bit oblong. That doesn't matter at all. It might matter a tiny bit, but not in reality. And every time I grind that, in order to take that wobble out, I'm going to have to lose another 5 mil. And these cost me $425 each. And they only go from 250 to 200. I can maybe squeeze 190 out of them, 185 at the most. But by the time you get down to 185, it's spinning slower than a new one, which is out here, obviously, radius. So I try not to grade it as much as possible. And I've found that there's really no difference at all in a bit of wobble. So don't concern yourselves too much. Now a global knife will wear the wheel down. So be careful of that. Make sure you roughen up every couple of minutes. And that way you can zoom through the rough grinding, getting the bevels going. Otherwise it'll smooth the wheel out and you'll be here for an hour. My first one took ages, hours. And I thought, what's going on here? because what this does is it raises the grain, and that grain will eventually settle back down and become a smooth wheel. So that feels pretty rough. Straight into it. Tip first, as always. Now you might be interested to see what did one pass do. I'll show you. Be quiet. Okay. Okay, so there's a piece of pox there. That's going to form as I grind through that, it's gonna come up to the edge and will cause a U shape. But that's, you know, that's taken a bit of something off. Not too bad. This side, of course, is still full flat. And because I know that I've got a fair way to go before I get to the center, I don't mind when I'm starting with a square edge to do a few passes on one side and then a few on the other. So I'll do 3 passes on this side. I'll do 3 passes on the other side, then I'll re-roughen the wheel. Another pass. You might think one pass is the same as another pass, but it's not. There's a couple of factors, including how fast you travel. Obviously, if you sit at one spot, like this, it's going to grind more on that spot. Also the speed, and also how much pressure you put on. So, you know, it's not as simple as one side, then the other, then the other, then the other, and it should come out perfectly even. It never will. You just got to get it as even as your eyes can spot. Okay, so I'll show you how we're going. Not too bad. How we're going on the pox. That's just a bit of water. And you can see that the edge is, where is it? The edge is still there. The flat face, I mean this flat face on here, because it's shining. It shouldn't shine. You can see the tip there, it's not shining so much because that tip sort of, like both sides have come back, have ground up to an apex. If there was an apex there, you wouldn't see it at all. So see how it's shiny at the top? That means that you've got flat surface. Let's see if I can get that focus. See that? That's flat surface on the top. But we're getting there. Oh, how's that pox going? Sometimes they're not so deep. Let's have a look. Okay, well, we might be able to get away with that. That heel's a little bit overdone on this side. A bit overdone, but don't forget the heels are often fatter than the tips. So you will get a larger bevel on the back at the same angle. Right? Oh, let me roughen up again, so we're not here forever. Let me know if you enjoy these real-time movies, or are they a bit too long and boring for you? noise. Of course, no burr yet because we haven't apexed. You don't get a burr until you apex, which is a tip for people who are struggling to get a sharp point. Until you get a burr, you haven't got a point. No burr yet. This pox is starting to disappear, which is good. See that? I've got a bit of a double bevel there, but see, it's only a little tiny little black spot. Not bad. The rest of it is coming up nicely. But no burr, so we should have a shine still on the top. I don't know if there you go. See that shine on the top? That's flat surface. It's got to go. So I'm pressing quite hard and travelling quite slow in order to grind as much as possible in one pass. Hey, hanging in there. It's going to be a long video. Not bad, that pox is cleaned up on the back here, so that's good. And we've got some burr starting to appear. Okay, now I've bit of burr missing on this corner because obviously every time you come around a corner over here, as you're on the grinding wheel, and I've explained this a few times, but you may not know this. So as I'm on the grinding wheel on a flat surface or a straight surface, obviously let's take this point here. It's going to start grinding from there and grind all the way across, right? Whereas if I'm coming around this corner, I'm going to touch there, and then as I'm lifting, that edge is no longer being ground. So that little point there, as you're going, each point around the corner, is only touching the wheel for a fraction of the time, not the full length like this piece would. So you battle that by going slower around the corner. Because you see how this is lifted out now? So this piece here did not get the full length, so it got less grinding, in other words. And that's why as you go around a corner or a bend, You need to slow down to make sure that that piece of blade gets as much time as it needs to grind down, and you'll be surprised how slow you really should be going. And of course the heel only gets to start there and then sort of finishes there. It doesn't do the whole length, so that needs a bit of extra as well. I can feel the wheel getting smoother now as well. It's probably now up around 400 or 500 grit, whereas on the 80 grit it starts off at about 200 because you times this by 3 to get the final wheel grade. And yeah, that feels softer or smoother on my thumb. And if I show you this, you'll see that it actually doesn't look too bad a bevel as far as smoothness goes. I will give it extra. Let me fix that tip a bit. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to that little short knife, paring knife, and we're going to, because that's the worst. So this is the best, that was the worst, and then the rest I can do by myself. I just wanted to show you the difference. And you can see there's a little bit of pock left here. See it? Right there. That little black mark right at the bottom of the bevel there. That's as much of that pock that's left. So that's not too bad. At least we've got a good cutting edge all the way across. And remember, this is done on the rough settings, so that still doesn't look too bad. Nice tip. Let's have a look at that pock. You see this pock is almost entirely gone and is now starting to reveal another one down below there, but that one doesn't matter because it's not on the edge. So this knife was saved, luckily. Now go to the 320. So 320 by 3 equals 960, but I reckon that this is probably about a 900, and 900 is a really good grade to finish on. Still got a little bit of tooth, and of course that's not the cutting edge. The cutting edge is actually smoothed on the honing wheel at around about between 8 and 16,000 grit. So the fine apex, or the extra bevel on the top, that's the word I'm thinking of. Can't remember, but the double bevel is actually very fine. And that's where the sharpness comes from. The rest of the bevel doesn't have to be super shiny and smooth because it's just there to separate the food. Alright, a couple of passes on the smooth now. You should be able to hear that that's less crunchy on the knife. And of course, like I said before, these knives are very hard. Japanese knives, the steel is extremely hard, and it's smoothing this wheel out, so now it feels even smoother than it did before. So it kind of self-smooths, which is handy. And you should see some nice shine in a minute. Okay, I think that's it. Obviously we still have a full burr everywhere, yes. Alright, now let's have a final look. They're quite shiny. Pockage. A few little pocks starting to come up, but nothing right on the edge. That's good. What about this side? Nice bevel all the way at the back. A little bit of pockage there. And a bit of a double bevel there actually. And this side seems to be a bit fatter than this side. So I might just even that out a little bit. Oh, first of all, let's get rid of that double bevel. You can't just do the back, you've got to do the whole thing in order for it to look smooth and even. So now I'm going to pause on the back and make sure that looks all even, which it does. Now, of course, knives don't need this level of precision. I mean, do they? You could probably sharpen a knife just as adequately on a belt sander without any care of angle or anything, really. The only thing that matters is, does it cut the veg? But I like precision. It's fun, it entertains me, and it gives me something to be proud of. Okay. Now I've got to try and get this bloody thing on again. Let's have a look. I need a little collar. I need to put that on there. Then we need some washer. See how straight that is. Not bad. A little bit. Good enough. So first of all, I'll green up. I always green up because this doesn't last very long, and it removes a variable. Because if you can't get a nice sharp edge, you wonder, did I put enough green on there? Because this does have abrasive. The abrasive on this starts at about 8,000, I reckon. And by the time it's all finished, it's still got some grit at about 16,000. And so it should put a nice little bevel, a nice little double bevel right on the edge there. I'll move the camera. All right. And so when I'm on here again, and I've said this a few times, but I'll say it again, I'm looking to find the bevel, and I find the bevel by, if I laid it all the way flat, obviously I'd be on the blade. So if I catch that edge, it has one sound. As I'm on the bevel, it then has that large area there to catch the friction, so it kind of tends to pull the knife away. I know that I'm on the bevel, but I don't care about shining the bevel. What I want to do is get that burr off with minimal time on here. The more time on here, the more rounded off you're going to get it, or there's a chance that you'll round it off. So what I do is I look for that bevel, and then I raise the knife. So I lay it down, I find where it catches, and then I lift it up so that I'm only on the very, very apex, and small degrees, of course. There's the catch, and there I am. Not everyone agrees with this method, but the results I get speak for themselves. And you want minimal time on here. And I test for the burr to see if it's all gone on my fingernail. And I should feel no bumps, and that should feel smooth, which it does. That's it. So I'll clean it off. Let's head to the bench and do some testing. Take that off. First we'll test on a magazine. Nice. Then we will test on the telephone book paper. See if anything catches here. That's nice. Then we'll test on the cigarette paper. If I can slice through here, I'm well below 150 Bess and probably around about 100. See, it's a bit catchy. Not real brilliant. Let's try again. See, not brilliant. So there's a bit of burr left over there, and it's probably the root. So what I'm going to do, root lol. He said root. Okay. This is my secret. Because you've watched for this long, I'm going to let you in a little secret. This is kangaroo tail leather. I've got a video coming up for a minute. Look how rough that is. Yeah, I'll do it next to my microphone. Alright, that's the secret. Got this from Knife Grinders Australia, whose website sadly disappeared last week. So that's the end of that. But he parted some knowledge out to us, which should be good. So I made this really long one as well. You can hear it. That's just a bit of leather catching there. And this really dislodges that root of the burr. And if I'm not mistaken, this should now glide through here, no problems. Better, not perfect. And of course I'm deburring on the same angle as I'm grinding. The grinding wheel's straight up and down. It goes like this, so I'm deburring that way. You don't want to deburr across the grain of the grind. It's hard not to do it, but ideally you should deburr. And then lighter strokes, according to what everyone's trying to teach us anyway. I'm still a student. No compound, straight kangaroo tail leather. And apparently this part here is the part that touches the ground from the kangaroo tail and pushes them up, so it's like traction, like a tyre tread. And that's what dislodges the root of the burr. Woof, said Jilly. Let's have a look here. There you go. See? This makes a huge difference, and I just bought a whole heap of it. There's a video coming of that shortly, so you're in on the secret now because you persisted and you watched the whole video. There you go. So that's how I repair a global knife. All right, that's ready for service again. Hopefully never to see another dishwasher. Now, while you're here, I'm going to try doing this one. This won't take long because it's only a small little paring knife. I'm going to try and see what happens. You'll see what happens when I come across all these little pox marks. All right. So let's go back to the front. Set up on the old knife jig. These are so superior to the new ones. In my hand anyway. That's too steep. I reckon that should be about right. Now I'm going to do this a bit steeper than the chef knife. So that's probably got about 35, maybe even 40 degrees. And the reason is that I don't want much bevel, because that bevel's just going to expose more pock and it's just no good. So we'll try and do as best I can on this one. Now, first of all, regrind it at 80. I reface it. Nice and rough. Let's have a look. I've already got a burr. I think a little bit more on this side. Okay, let's have a look. You can see those pocks coming through the edge, but if you look just at the very top, you can see that, did I get a clear run? Maybe, ish. You can see the pocks coming through. And if those pocks were actually on the edge, you'd get a U shape. And it would ruin the edge. But so far, I think that may get a useful edge. Keep going. Give it a little bit more. I think this side's a bit fatter than that, so we'll give this one an extra. That looks even. Finish it off at 320 or 960. Not bad. Full of pocks, but you know. I think we've got a clear edge on the top. Did we? I think we did. It looks a bit thin on this side compared to this side, so I might give it another run on this back side. Okay, I'll do this. Green up. Start with the back of the burr. And as mentioned before, the reason I start at the back of the burr is to weaken the burr's grip on the blade. And then when it comes to knocking the burr off on its face, it'll come off easier. See that grip? Still got grip. So I want to lift it up off that grip so that I'm on the apex. Still a bit rough. Smooth. Let's go over to the bench. Let's have a look here. Oh, finished. Try the magazine first. Oh, that feels a bit rough. It does feel rough. See how rough that is? I don't know if you can see the hairs. See the hairs? Definitely not as smooth as the... then again, we've got a different angle here as well. Not bad. I doubt whether it will perform on the telephone, but we'll see how we go. Yeah. Not too bad. See how it goes through here. Should have a hard time through here. We'll see if the kangaroo tail can help it. Yeah. No good. Kangaroo tail's amazing. It's helped it, but not totally ready yet. Not sure how much I'm going to expect out of this little shitty knife, but I think it's lived its life. But getting that burr off, and you'd think that it was rough, it would be ruining the edge, but it's not. It doesn't. It just grips that root and tears it off. Let's see how we go. A little bit. Try one more. We'll do these tricks for sure. It could be those little pocks gripping, but I don't think so. It should work. Then again, I am quite high angle, and these paper tricks really only work on the really low angles below a 30. Actually, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I've had these slices with a cleaver done at, you know, 40 or 50 degrees, so it should work. So, yeah. I could be talking out of my pox hole. Let's have a look here. That was a bit rough, wasn't it? Oh, well, here's what it is. Hopefully I can offend a few people along the way. There you go. It catches a little bit. And stops towards the end, but that's not bad. That's not bad. I'm happy with that. So, yeah. Oh, and now you'll see that it should glide smoother through the magazine as well. Okay. And through the telephone. Kangaroo tail, I'm telling you. My new secret weapon. So there you go. This nice one. Versus this COVID infected blade. I hope that offended somebody. It's not a good video unless it does. So there you go, long video. I really appreciate your watching it, because watch hours are important. And I will do the rest by myself. There's no need for you to watch. You've got the point. You saw a good one and you saw a really bad one, and you saw how they both came up. So please, no more dishwashing. No more dishwashers. You work your knife, you clean it, you put it away. That's it. Don't bang it around. Don't. It's just too harsh an environment in there. All right? And you saw what happened. So all the best. Enjoy your day. Thanks for watching.